plants are toxic.
Yeah.
This is simple. I mean, this is the simplest thing, that plants contain all the toxins that are killing us. They're all sugar. Sugar is killing us. The fiber and the sugars and amino acids in the plants are highly fermentable. So you're making heat, gas, alcohol, methane in your gut. So ultimately, then those microbes grow up through the esophagus. They colonize the lungs, the upper and lower respiratory systems. They go out the rectum, anus, and they colonize your perineum around your genitalias, and they cause all sorts of havoc for men and women, including infertility, PCOS, endometriosis, endometritis, and many deadly diseases. Polycystic ovarian syndrome is plant-caused ovarian sickness. So ultimately, what does meat not have? Name a toxin in red meat.
Well, you can't. There's no toxins in red meat.
There's no toxins to humans. You know, it may be some people, very rare, they say, oh, I'm allergic to beef. You know, that's the rarest of rare. You know, ultimately, it's psychological mostly, because people get brainwashed early on. But ultimately, why is carnivore? Because it eliminates the toxins. That's all. It's not complicated. Occam's razor says simple answer. But, you know, there are no human populations that are purely plant-based without a supplement or some other IV something, okay? But you can be a carnivore and never need to supplement at all, okay? So again, we're omnivores. You can live as an omnivore if you get a handle on what's more inflammatory and not. But the problem is, when cancer hits, a stroke hits, or heart disease hits, or some other disease, there often appear random of why you get it and you don't. That's the part we don't know. Now, we do not know that carnivore means I'm going to live longer. I have no idea. We haven't proven that. But I can tell you, I don't need my drugs or my doctor's dissections anymore. I've never felt better. I was on tons of drugs for years, on anti-inflammatory, anti-migraine, GERD, and everything. And so our job for all doctors, all scientists, all humanity is to step back and ask the question, what's the cause of all our diseases?
Yeah.
And the answer is usually, I don't know. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely.
It's multifactorial, it's idiopathic, but we're spending gobs of money on trying to cure all these diseases. Waste of money. If we simply go a keto, carnivore, faith and fasting lifestyle, we'll be better than ever, in my opinion.
I agree. I mean, the more money we spend on cancer, the more cancer we get.
I mean, I'm busier than ever in this business of fertility. It's crazy, radical.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like the fertility, the hormone production, like testosterone, for example, is lowest now than it has been in history, and it just keeps going. It's getting lower faster.
Well,
every year.
Once again, when you lower your cholesterol, you lower your testosterone.
Yeah.
But goitrogenic foods. Goitrogenic foods are fruits and vegetables, seeds and nuts, plants that damage the thyroid gland.
Yeah.
Now, kale, asparagus, broccoli, peanuts, strawberries, soy, rye. I mean, the list is huge. We know that they damage your thyroid gland. The question is, could they damage every other cell of your body? 100%.
Yeah. 100%.
So if you look up goitrogenic foods and ask the question, could these plants also damage my testicles, my ovaries, my brain, my kidneys, my heart, my liver, everything? Oh, yeah. Huh. Well, not just the mitochondria. You see, we don't have any shortage of energy in our body.
Yeah.
It's not, mitochondria has been hailed as like, oh, stop hurting your mitochondria. But if your liver's damaged and you develop fatty liver, as they call it, or non-alcoholic fatty liver, or you develop cirrhosis, that's not your mitochondria. It's you're just killing the cells. The whole cell's dying, right? So glycation is the damage of the glycobiome, which damages the cells, especially in the GI tract and the vascular system, which causes leaky guts, which causes the microbes to be able to easily attack you, viruses, bacteria, and yeast. And so the liver's job is to make fat. Well, if the liver is damaged enough, you can't make fat and you die.
Yeah.
And so mitochondria is hailed as like, oh, who do you know is like, no, they may have damage to the neuromuscular fibers, but they're making plenty of ATP.
Yeah.
It's just that the mechanisms aren't working. The nanomotors, are critical for the function of our cells. You're making proteins, you're moving things around, and the muscular function requires a glycoprotein to move. You've got plenty of ATP, you have plenty of acetyl-CoA or ketone bodies flown around in your body. So I think ultimately the damage is inflammation, which, just inject heroin. Did that knock out your mitochondria, or did that knock out something else we don't understand?
Yeah. Well, that's a great point, actually. Like when I was diagnosed, I had bundles of energy. I was very energetic. I was still training. I was working very hard. But I was already very high stage 4. And I just didn't know it. So that's a good point.
And remember, so nobody knows about the glycobiome.
Yeah.
The glycobiome is the most critical part of your body, and everything is really determined by sugars. And so there are sugars all over your body, and every animal and every plant and every microbe contains a glycobiome that's unique for it. Our allergies are secondary to consuming glycobiomes that are antigenic to us. And your body says, wait a minute, that's not good. Let me bring in the white cells. Let me release the histamines of the mast cells. Let me cause redness, heat, swelling, pain, so you will move away from those toxins. But now we're taking all these drugs to lower our immune system, right? Or we're using steroids and all sorts of drugs that lower your immune system so that you think you can keep on eating the thing or breathing the thing or drinking the thing that's antigenic.
Yeah.
And so these drugs are good acutely, but ask the question, why do I have asthma? Because you're eating, breathing, and drinking plants. Is Coca-Cola a plant substance?
Well, it's highly processed, plant-based.
It's a plant. So the word processed, I mean, you and I go to the market, or whoever goes to the market, and buy processed food. We did not hunt and gather that food ourselves. So when we use processed, the term processed, I'm confused. But basically, that when you eat eat plant products, coffee, tea, alcohol are plant products, correct?
Yeah.
Most smoothies are plant products, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Coffee and tea, again, these are all plant products. Keep it simple. I'm consuming plants, which are highly antigenic, that cause my immune system to go crazy, that causes me to require to go to a doctor, get a dissection or a drug, or all these things we're doing. But how many people, again, do you know are allergic to ribeye steak? Nobody.
Yeah, I've never heard of that before. And like you said before, it can be psychosomatic as well. Like before I started like a high-fat keto diet, I was fat phobic. I grew up hating fat because fat makes you fat, and fat makes you is high in cholesterol and all this sort of absolute nonsense. So I convinced myself that I just hated the texture, I hated the taste, I hated the fat itself. So I would cut it off every piece of meat, and I spent more than a decade just eating skinless chicken breast, full of hormones and everything else, but that didn't worry me.
But the hormones are not the cause of disease.
No.
The antibiotics and the hormones in the animals are not the cause of disease. The cause of disease are the plants and the lean meat. Simple. See, we're screaming in the world about, oh, well, what about this? I don't care. The number one cause of disease is a plant-based, low-fat diet. That's simple as that. And 3 to 6 meals a day.